The hero's journey. So, I've talked about the hero's journey a lot of times. I'm an English teacher, so it's something that we study. And the hero's journey is kind of this archetypal story that we are all heroes. We are all on our hero's journey. And almost every heroic story, whether you're talking about a comic book or a lot of sci-fi stories, a lot of action stories, follow the hero's journey. But I saw these two creators talking about the hero's journey in terms of one reason why some men are so angry with women. And they basically said that some men, through patriarchy, have been sold this idea that every man gets his moment to be a hero. And when he gets that moment to be a hero, often that moment requires him to tap into his primal energy, his very aggressive, almost Neanderthal type of energy. And so he has to keep that around, because when he gets that moment to be a hero, he's got to be able to come through with this aggressive energy and to be this primal masculine self. And that some men never get that moment in the sun, that moment to be a hero. They feel like they missed it because they didn't get the support, or somebody else got it because of their wealth or their attractiveness, or their 6-footishness, something that man may not have. And so they were saying that these men often project onto women that these women have hit the wall and that they need to humble themselves because these men never got their hero journey. And so they're angry with women who think that those women are all that, right? And they want to humble them. But this train of thought made me think about so many other things that these creators had not mentioned. And one of the things that it made me think of was that often this idea of the hero is almost like a happenstance kind of thing. Like you just happen to be in the right space at the right time to get this opportunity to do something that doesn't seem to be that hard or that big of a deal a lot of times. But it turns out that this thing that you did was oh so important. And you just were in the right place and right time. So it's almost like you didn't have to do any work for it. All you had to do was just be available. And what I've posted about a lot in the last year is this idea that many young men seem unprepared to adult. It's almost like they feel like things should be just dropped into their lap. They should get the promotion because they exist. They should get the job because they exist. They should get the girl because they're male and they're interested. They should get whatever it is, the car, the home, the money, the friends, the life experience, just because. And if you're thinking about this whole idea of the hero's journey, that you become a hero just because you're in the right space at the right time. You didn't have to work for it. You didn't have to plan for it. You didn't have to put in years of training and discipline and have a plan. It just happened to you. And I think that when these creators were talking about how men seem to be angry with women because women hadn't humbled themselves, I don't think that that's the only thing that they were actually angry about. Because if women have been socialized that we have to work for everything we get, that we're going to have to be twice as good to even be seen as half as worthy, then we're coming up with a totally different work ethic than a lot of men. We aren't taught that we're going to get it just because. Now, of course, there are some very beautiful women who may get things just because they're so beautiful. And I think that that angers these men that we're talking about as well. But I think it also angers these men that some women have a lot of obstacles in their way. They may be dealing with a male-dominated industry that doesn't want them there. They may be dealing with the old boy network. They may be having to try to be the first woman to break ground in whatever area it is. And yet, she is willing to do whatever it takes in terms of work the long hours, take the extra classes, maybe get an image consultant, maybe take personal development classes to work on her presentation skills, maybe her speech skills, maybe her writing skills. She's willing to do all of these things to remake herself. And eventually she becomes exactly who she wanted to be in the place that she wanted to be. And so she's become, quote, the hero on her hero's journey. But this man who just expected to get it given to him is now looking at her and angry because he didn't feel the need to do all of that. And why did she feel the need to do it and was able to do it, was able to buckle down when he thought it was too hard, was able to focus when he gave up, was able to continue when he quit. And I think that because sometimes some men are applauded for doing the absolute basic thing, and they don't have to strive for excellence, they don't have to strive to prove themselves in some areas. They may not develop the grit, the perseverance, the dedication, the tough skin that it sometimes takes to be successful. Because some men do have a hair trigger. Some men do have a very sensitive ego. And they would rather quit something than show that they don't know. They would rather quit something than have to humble themselves to get help. So it's interesting. It's very interesting that there could be this projection going on because women actually earned the position and these men didn't even feel like they could earn it. May you walk in Zennurgy. The hero's journey. So I've talked about the hero's journey a lot of times. I'm an English teacher, so it's something that we study. And the hero's journey is kind of this archetypal story that we are all heroes. We are all on our hero's journey. And almost every heroic story, whether you're talking about a comic book or a lot of sci-fi stories, a lot of action stories, follow the hero's journey. But I saw these two creators talking about the hero's